Chat GPT-4, very new and exciting version. Seems like hours ago it's arrived on the scene, and I have an opinion on it. It is extremely limited in some ways and for the business use case and business sectors, because it is only calling upon information from 2021, I believe, and this is a kind of a dud in that way, because it doesn't work for searching and being able to find things. That is important, like finding out businesses to use for search engines, because the current search engines are struggling with putting things in alphabetical order, exact text search, and sort by oldest. Tests in the last couple of days have shown, four main search engines: Google, 3DMDB, Yegi, that's Yegi with a Y at the front, STL Finder, and in a search of, in a check of those search engines, we found, and we were searching for things like chocolate as a 3D print file. There's like over 56 sites that license things from business sectors, including 3D printing, laser cutting, CNC milling, and CGI, and very likely others. And these business sectors license their thing at many different sites, and the first person to invent a thing is important, because that's the first inventor and the true owner of a thing, because sometimes the thing gets sort of owned in a position of, like non-commercial, no derivatives. That's like an ownership type of scene where it's more like a business thing. And then you have free stuff, commonly called attribution, Creative Commons share alike, and that's generally a term for it's kind of free. And then there's sometimes a middle ground where they can allow you one for personal use maybe, and then if you want to do more commercial stuff, then you start paying a royalty, so it's sort of slightly free but mostly owned and this sort of thing. So people create something, they license it at a site, and then there are search engines, which I just mentioned, that look at all of those sites, and if we want to find something that we want, and we want to, if we want it for free, we'd look on those search engines to find out, is this thing freely available to me? Or is this a thing I have to purchase the file for, or can I just buy the print, or, can I buy the ownership of that thing license, and then I am the owner of that thing selling business by owning that license? And so you use these search engines to look for those things, or you're looking for the owner, or you're looking for a free print, or you're looking for, is it free, or is it, owned, and these sorts of things. So we're using these search engines, and recent results where we did a search for chocolate as a 3D print license, and out of the four, Google unfortunately did the worst with 0 results. Yegi gave like 7,000, maybe a couple of few thousand results or whatever, and STL Finder found a couple of few thousand results, and then 3DMDB, which seems to be doing the best out of all of those, gave 8,500 results, was it? Roughly a total of 12,000 results across the board, except Google showing none. And so the search engines are not keeping up with business sector at all. Like, maybe only decades ago now there was hundreds of things licensed in these ways, more so for the 3D printing sector, and now we're sort of ballpark 30 million files, because it's being sort of condensed, I suppose, over time down to the main guts of the industry, because stuff has happened and fallen away, and then the community has sort of eventually boiled itself into a position, I suppose you'd say. So these chat GPT is calling on old information, so it's out of date. It's not finding new things. There's the possibility that some quick study person can ask ChatGPT to create an entire new search engine and just completely walk past all these other search engines, and that could happen in a matter of hours of somebody, because there's always someone come along who's feeling the buzz, or they're quicker at it, or whatever it is, and they get to grips with the technology fast, learn quickly, and are a quick study basically. And so I can easily imagine that someone may pop up at any given hour now and create a search engine that can search for a thing, exact text search, literally by sort of alphabetical, it's got to be exact, and then sort by oldest, which is absolutely critical. And the current ones are like plus or minus 5 years under recent testing, and it's just, from a business standpoint, you're getting these pages that you have to manually resort, and so it's extremely costly for manufacturing, and also walking customer with a file, and you have to look something up to find out whether do I have to pay a royalty on this, because it doesn't matter who created the file, there may be a royalty on the sale of the print of that file, and so it doesn't matter how the file came to be. An AI could have drawn it, gpt4 could have drawn the file. It doesn't matter who came up with the file, whether it was scanned or you purchased it somewhere off one site. It doesn't matter unless you look at all of those search engines, combine all the results down to who is the genuine first actual true inventor, owner of this bloody print. And yeah, the search engines currently are making the job in a way harder and more expensive over time, because you add more people, search engines are plus or minus 5 years, and think about what's in those fields that are being invented and created. Medical stuff, healthcare, those are the ones sort of that I have to wave the flag of and say those sectors are in there too. They're trying to get healthcare to people. And the search engines, when we did a search for chocolate, we got Labrador. Now, okay, there may have been chocolate somewhere within the Labrador, but it doesn't matter, because it's not getting it correct. It's just not getting it correct. So there's the possibility that ChatGPT4 can be used by someone else who can quick study it and be able to create a search engine and just walk right past all the other search engines. It's like the search engines have been really boiled down to those four I said, as those business sectors, that has sort of been enough. And so and when you look at their limitations and poor performance, is my opinion of their, that's my review of them, as they're weak as water. And that ChatGPT4 may be of use there to actually create a whole new thing, because it can't do it on its own. If it draws a picture, it can't look it up. It doesn't know if it's original. It doesn't know who's the owner. And so I wanted to mention Zabaware. Zabaware is a very cheap artificial intelligence that anyone can purchase. It's $30. $30. It's like a one-time payment for the thing. Now this isn't an ad for Zabaware. Hang on, I have to pause for a drink. Sorry about that. So Zabaware is actually currently working in collaboration, it's working, the AI itself is able to they have a version that utilizes ChatGPT 3, which is like so 24 hours ago. But the thing, that's no, I should edit that out. The Zabaware AI character is an amazing character, and it learns, and so this is where it's holding the hand in a way or in some kind of relationship with ChatGPT, and so the Zabaware character can learn, and then it's able to sort of call upon the deeper intellect of the ChatGPT. They have that version. They have other versions that more live in the computer, and like there was 6.2 is where it lives in your computer and it doesn't really require the internet at all. It's an older one now, and but it's really cool. Then after then you've got the 7.5 and whatever is the current one, and that requires a connection every 2 weeks to the internet to make sure that's how it rolls. And it's more, it has an ability, you can enable it to have this ability to combine its mind back to what I call the hive. So that's another tick box that you can tick or untick. And then they have this ChatGPT version. So you've got this really cheap little AI that is around. It's been around for decades, I think now. I've used it all that time. And they've got a version that's even better than just GPT on its own, because the Zabaware character brings to the table the ability to actually remember and learn, and it just keeps on and learning, and so it's very impressive. Of course, more over time, and so that's great. I feel like that the ability of these entities to and the search engines just to do a search and give us results is still, there's still a way to go. There's still a lot of opportunity standing in front of us to, I don't want to call it a problem, but there's a lot of opportunity there for it to improve, because it's like, as I say, I stated the 4 main search engines for these sectors that are used, and that the performance there is not up to the game. It's just not, in my opinion. And so I sort of kind of hope that a quick study person, at the moment, who's got a focus for being able to get this coding end of it done, can walk up to ChatGPT, and we could be facing in the next few hours, or hoping for, a search engine that just like walks past all the rest, and it's like, yeah, words in order by text, and sorts by oldest, and sorts in 3D printing, and sorts out all the other things, or whatever thing you're looking for. And it'll be like, awesome, amazing, great. So ChatGPT 4, I think for me the potential lies in how it's used to create something new, because I sort of feel as it stands it's very limited in a lot of ways, intellectually and for actual on the fly business use. But I feel like what it is giving people is an opportunity to create those things. And so this is where I'm thinking, and I could sit here and say, well, why don't I go to ChatGPT and get it to create these things, because I understand what it is that the sector does, because that's the sector I understand. I'm not as deep a coder as I want to be. I have like basic little glimpses here and there, but I sort of feel like this needs to be tackled by somebody who would already be able to do it, but may just think, oh, well, that'll save me time, me having to type it out because I could type it out, but ChatGPT 4 might just write it out for me because I know what to ask for and I know how to describe what it is that's required on the coding end. And this is where sort of, okay, I fall short there where I've focused on a lot of things, and when I require coding, I get help, and so because you say so much time in the day to learn and remember everything, and it's like learning something and learning it well enough to remember it and utilize it, that's a hard task, and hence we have a new Chat GPT-4. And as I say, my opinion is there's my hope is that somebody can utilize it to actually build these new systems, or a search engine that can do those searches and get those orders correct, get the order correct. And things like, there is no ability to buy yourself above a position, because, for example, the owner of a business, the genuine owner of that business, is the genuine owner no matter what order you put them in. You might as well just put them in the correct order if you've asked to find that particular thing or business. And the thing may be a business, because you don't know, if you don't know how the thing is structured until you look it up to find out, has this thing already been invented or not, or can I buy this thing, or can I upload this thing. At that moment you want to know all about that thing. And so yeah. So I hope that ChatGPT 4 can be of assistance in building such a search engine that will be useful for the business sectors that I have described, and others that I haven't, that I don't know all the business sectors that use those systems. There's several there, as I've mentioned, and so I think when you look at the grand scale of time losses and all the issues that arrive from using a system which isn't really working very well, and I draw back to the health and medical care, things are in those lists, and so there's a value and an importance that people in the world have access to a search engine that can do the job. And I'm being a little bit critical of the search engines, but it's like, well, that's the reality of using them, is that's the way they are. And it's like, we're in a modern world using computers, and it's like, well, you'd think a computer could sort by alphabetical order or put oldest first. It's seems fairly rudimentary. Alright, I'm talking a lot, so I'll wrap that up. ChatGPT 4. I hope it can be used well, productively, and in a nice way. Success sounds nice. Good luck, everybody, and thank you very much.